Okay, so we're working on the X495. I'm going to have the video on when I got this in the description. So I tried just cranking it over by hooking a battery to it, and it did turn, but it made a really loud clunking sound as it was turning towards the front of the engine, which you can already see that there's an issue. So I drained the oil, I dropped the oil pan, everything there seemed fine. And then I pulled the battery tray and stuff out that's right here under the front of the hood. And I wiggled the flywheel and the flywheel wiggled. So I'm like, well, maybe the bearing is just bad. So I pulled the bearing off, and here the entire crankshaft is actually snapped, which I'm not even going to be able to move it now, but because it's at a weird angle. But what I'm going to do here is the engine's actually just sitting in there now. I got the four engine mounts disconnected. I got the coolant drained. Turns out there's actually this nice little thing here you can pull out to drain the coolant, so that's pretty cool. I got everything there unhooked, drive shaft disconnected, wiring off, so it is ready to be yanked out. So here is me pulling it out with my X495 with the loader. As you saw, so I went and I pulled that other part off the bottom of the engine, so then that way I can show you exactly what happened. So this side is fine, it's a 3-cylinder, so that side, that one's fine, that one's fine, this one here not so fine. So you can see right there, right where it broke, right at my finger here, it's missing. Well, it's not really missing, it's just it's moved because it's in two pieces. So I looked these crankshafts up, and they're like $500-600 for a crankshaft. Plus, who knows what else it needs because it's missing a bunch of stuff, and I mean the list kind of goes on. So I'm at the point now where I'm trying to figure out what engine to get for this. These particular engines are pretty hard to find. I mean, they're not hard to find because they're rare. They're just hard to find because there's a lot of machines out there that have them, but the machines work. So trying to find an engine like that is going to be next to impossible, but we'll see what happens. Otherwise, something like a V-twin, a gas V-twin would be an option. Something liquid cooled would be preferred because there is a radiator for the hydraulics, which is just behind here. I can pull this out and show it to you if you don't already know. There's a radiator right here for the hydraulics. So it needs to more than likely be liquid cooled, so then that radiator can actually get cooled properly with this one here with the fan. Otherwise, I could get like just a cheapo like air-cooled V-twin with a crankshaft adapter and hook that up to this, which wouldn't be too bad. Obviously the frame needs to be cleaned. Holy cow, that's disgusting. And then I could probably modify the engine mounts on that engine over there and fix that issue. But yeah, I think from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up this coolant mess that I've got now and bolt the oil pan back on the engine, just kind of put the engine back together so it's one piece. And then I'm going to get this rolled in the shop and get these fenders taken off. So I got the fenders and floorboards off. The floorboards never come off easy with the two forward and back pedals. So I just, instead of taking the bolts out, I just took it's like a little clamp part that goes right on this square shaft. I took that off with it, and that's out there. So the next thing to do is I'm going to pop the steering wheel off and try to get all of this plastic stuff off of the dash, and then work on the wiring, get that out of here, and the radiator. I'm going to tear it down so it's just a frame, and go from there. So I'm going to get it down to that point. Okay, so I pressure washed the frame, and I got the dash, steering wheel, radiator, and all that stuff off. Well, I guess there's still one radiator left. That's for the transaxle. So the engine that you're looking at now is a liquid-cooled FD620D Kawasaki V-twin. This is off of a golf course reel mower, which this is also the same type of engine that was found in like a late 90s to early 2000s, like John Deere 425. And they still make these engines, which is pretty cool. It fits in here pretty nice. I do have the fan, but that ain't gonna fit with the drive shaft. So I'm gonna have, of course, the radiator that it came with sitting right here for the engine. And then just a 12-volt like car radiator fan sitting right here in front of that. And that should work. Engine mounts I have sitting right here. It's gonna be just hard mounted to the frame. So I got these made. I gotta basically just bolt this to the side of the engine, then figure out exactly on how to weld it to the frame, and then weld the bracket to the frame. The cylinder on the far side here has a slight knock to it because the engine ran out of coolant and it overheated. So it needs rings in that side, or it needs just a whole new rebuild, which isn't that bad. Still cheaper than really any other new engine that I could find. And I already have this, so I'm going to go with this one. But I'm going to get those engine mounts done. And I'm going to try to get this engine, for the most part, set up to make a test fire. Just to make sure that, the transmission's good. The drive shaft is lined up, nothing shakes, nothing does anything stupid. And then I'm going to pull it back out, paint the frame, and get this engine ready for rebuild. But anyway, I'm going to get this engine fastened to the frame, and I'm going to come back. So, yeah, it works. I was not expecting to get it running in this video, so that's pretty cool. The engine does have a tick to it on this side, which is a little weird, like I was saying earlier. So I am going to tear it apart and figure out exactly what's going on with that. But otherwise, yeah, that's pretty cool. I got basically a free engine because it was replaced out of my forklift. That is it for this video, because I got way more done in a short amount of time than I expected. So thanks for watching. I totally forgot to show the engine mounts, but that's what I came up with. They're just small little brackets welded to the frame, both top and bottom. A bolt here. There's a spot for 2 of them, but I just put 1 in there just for test run. And then a total of 4 bolts in the end will hold it. 2 in the back, 2 in the front on each side, so I guess 8. This side here seems pretty strong. I mean, not the perfect mounting method, but it's not too bad. The welds aren't the greatest because I welded that with the engine in here. But that is it for this video. Thanks for watching.